And a very warm evening to you all around the world, in Australia, and especially here in New South Wales. This is Football New South Wales coming to you live via their official YouTube channel for National Premier League men's action, live from Popondetta Park in Sydney's West. My name's Dom Rizzuto. It is a pleasure to be here for you to call round 23 action between Mount Druitt Town Rangers and Sydney FC. You have two teams, both with plenty to play for, coming to you this evening. This beautiful winter evening as well here. We're expecting fast, pleasant football in these conditions on one of the very few real grass turf pitches that you get to see in this competition. It's, of course, as I mentioned, 16th place Rangers up against 10th place Sydney FC, the young Sydney FC side, of course, and they're both playing for different reasons, as you might expect. Obviously, Mount Druitt fighting for their survival in this competition, whereas Sydney, with 7 games remaining, have, some would say, fleeting hopes, but they might have high hopes and expectations that they may still snag a final spot come the end of the regular season. Let's go through the teams for you today, starting off with Sydney FC, who just made the 2 changes after the 2-0 loss to Sydney Olympic last week. Kyle Shaw, the captain, is back once again. Matthias McAllister, fresh off his new contract with the Sydney FC organisation, starts up top alongside Tay Headley just behind him in number 10. Jared Middleton will once again lock that midfield role. Samuel Lancaster slots in at the back. Jacob McLaughlin is in the midfield alongside Oscar Gultigan, and Joe Lacey as on that wing position alongside Caelan Marshall-White. Gus Hoofsloot is in goals once again. The bench is Joseph Korlusic, Reef Farias, Alexander Zavandinos, Zach Flower, Junior Conde, and Akul Akon. As for the home side, Dylan Niski, the captain, in goals once again. Danilo Doce Montero is in number 3. Tep Tep is number 5. Yuto Morita in the playmaking role of number 10. Rocco Pele, the fullback, is in 12. Abraham Majok up top in 14. Caleb Jackson Brown in 15. Stephen Stanic Floody in 17. Thomas Lopez, who got the all-important goal last week for the home side in an important 1-1 draw, will get a starting position today. William Rankin is in 21 and Yuta Kamura is 29. On the bench you have Alexander Trajanowski, Garang Awak, John Azar, Stephen Giglio, Lachlan Vasilu and Saden Sampao to round out the team. They have a couple of players dropping out. Jared Maksola, who is suspended, Bilal Bacardi, and of course the big news for them today is the opening game for new coach Ben Rollinson, who joins the side as new head coach, replacing the outgoing Andrew Montgomery. Those are the teams for you. That is the latest news, and we are now about to get underway here at Popondetta Park. Good crowd showing here once again for the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. A great community out here, love their football, and this ground has a special place in many players' hearts, and they will be hoping that they can claim an important 3 points today. Sydney FC, as I mentioned, sitting in 10th. You don't know what side will turn up, particularly with the age that plays in this squad. And that means that they'll have plenty of optimism and opportunity to win this one. Sydney FC get us underway. They're running, of course, in the famous sky blue strip, left to right across your streaming screens, as Mount Druitt Town Rangers are in the more industrious-looking yellow and green, running from right to left. Whether you be watching that on your phones, tablets or computers, or even on the big screen perhaps. You're technically astute. Of course, there's a lot of youth as well in this Mount Druitt Town Rangers side as well. They've picked up a lot of NPL quality players this season to kind of fill out the younger roster. They've got plenty of youth, as I mentioned previously, as they try to play on the counter immediately, but it's easily cut out there by Jared Middleton, who's slotting at centre-back today. We'll switch here to Caelan Marshall-White at full-back. Joe Lacey just ahead of him. What will the Sydney FC side do? You would think that most players of this quality can handle playing on grass and then switching it to AstroTurf when needed and vice versa, but it is a trick sometimes when you haven't played on the natural grass in some time. They seem to be playing very well at the moment with the ball rolling around very nicely along the surface. It's very, very clean today. Here's Shaw now. And Murphy goes early to Lacey, but it's easily cut out. Oh, that's a ball giveaway, which is fortuitous in that it had gone out for a throw. Otherwise, Oscar Goltigan was in on goals. UFC switch it wide again. Drilling ball across to Lacey, but it was too far away to reach it. Dealt with emphatically by their home side defence. Lacey goes long again, trying to find Headley, who's got great feet. Very hard to stop. Pushing it across now to Marshall White. Lacey gets tripped. Referee says nothing doing. And they go early up to Marita, but it's well cut out there by the captain Shaw. Didn't quite have the purchase onto that pass. As expected, Sydney FC have started this the brightest. A bit of a curse of the commentator there as the pass is poorly placed by Marshall White, but they hurry back well with McAllister winning possession, but the Rangers don't give up the fight and eventually win the free kick. Jackson Brown had his shirt pulled not once but twice in the middle there by, I believe it to be Samuel Lancaster. Long up to Majock here, who gets a head on it over Jacob McLaughlin. Already Marshall White having a lot of space out here on the far touchline as Lacey goes down under the challenge of Stack and Floody. One might say that that one was softer than the one that he should have received moments ago. Perhaps that's just an evening of the foul count. Lacey back into Lancaster. It's Galkin who loses out. No, the referee calls for a free kick, and this is a promising opportunity for Sydney FC to test the Rangers' defence aerially, or even go for goal perhaps. It is a long way out. The referee said that the challenge was a little hefty for his liking, and he's adjudicated that effectively, despite the array of yellow and green shirts protesting. So in the end, after all of that, it of course will be the free kick. Headley and Goltigan standing over it. Looks like it's going to be the man who was fouled who's lining up to take this. As Headley steps away from it, whips it across the middle of the box, and there was not a single Sydney FC player on the end of it because not one but two had fallen over in that period of play. Lacey going down as well as Shaw. Calls for a penalty were half-asked by the Sydney FC troops. It's the Jock now. Has to keep it in, but this is out there to McLaughlin. Sydney FC will start again, having all the possession so far. That's a heavy touch, which is gratuitously not punished. Nose breathing a sigh of relief that his captain could clear the danger. Here's Lacey now. Well, the ball coming out to this right-hand side at the moment. Here's Headley. To Lancaster, to McLaughlin. Tries to turn away and eventually loses out. Did well initially, but there wasn't anywhere to go. But then that's a poor giveaway, and now comes Sydney FC through Golotikin, trying to fashion a shot, but took too many touches and ran into danger. And the Rangers managed to scramble away. And call for a foul there on Marita. Just couldn't keep it in. Now Headley comes again. Hines McAllister goes once, goes twice around a couple of challenges before eventually being tackled out. Jock does really well to keep that in, and now the Rangers can counter here. Looking to bring it forward now through Kimura, who then loses out, and now they look to break here, Sydney FC. The ball from Lacey to McAllister wasn't great. He's managed to find the space out wide here to Golotikin. The attack just breaks down ever so slightly, affording the Rangers an opportunity to get back into the defensive structure, and it's afforded them an ability to snuff out any kind of cross and collected easily by captain Niski in goals. Ball there from the fullback. Marshall White needed to be better. Oh, and here's an opportunity for the Rangers, and it just doesn't go the way of Kimura. Sure, having a telling touch. Comes wide to Lacey. It's a good ball towards Golotikin. Can't win the aerial battle on this occasion. Now the Rangers will look to come forward again. Here's Majock, starting to just get into the swing a little bit here, the home side, and to win their first free kick of the evening. Headley adjudged to have tripped the fullback William Rankin. Here's Tep now. He just goes long. The header was initially won by Marita, but a single teammate could react fast enough. Attack breaks down again for the home side, who just looking to get into their stride. No foul is given there on Rankin, and McAllister's stolen possession. Tries to find Headley, but the communication between the two were off. Headley just held his run. And I have to say, on that occasion, he probably shouldn't have. Certainly what his strike partner was asking for was a run down that line. Decided to hold up instead. And that final pass just deceiving the home side currently. Stepping up well. Peltikin adjudged offside, so you won't have to do any of the hard work of bringing the ball forward. Montero tries to stride forward and is fortunate enough that McAllister just couldn't quite get that out of his feet after he won the ball. Rankin slipped just momentarily, manages to win the throw. Just a simple ball over the top here to Lopez, who gets it back across here to Morita, trying to bring it down. Shaw's strong in the air and on the ground, wins both challenges. And now Lacey overlaps him, tries to use his pace to go around the chasing Rocco Pelle, showing his age is just a number, and wins the ball back. And then another player goes down. It's Lacey again. Once again, the referee says no, play on. And we've got a fast-paced game at the moment, which is great. Advantage played here on that occasion, though, as Rankin has space. Majok's making a run forward, doesn't get used by the fullback. Will now get used by Lopez. Keeps it in here, the winger. One-on-one here with McLaughlin. Tries to feed it through, though, to Lopez, and it doesn't quite come off. The game really starting to open up here. The referee's more lenient approach to the officiating so far is giving us such a nice speed to the game. We must applaud it. Who can capitalise on that first is the question. 15 minutes gone here. Tep just sees that one completely away, scaring off a couple of the local cockatoos, just flying around to the back. He's just coming over here to have a word with Sydney FC striker Matthias McAllister. Not entirely sure why. Maybe because the number 9 had said something colourful and was just getting a warning from the man in charge. Lancaster's layoff under pressure goes out. Lacey looking for a pass, looking for an angle. Ball comes across towards where he might have been had he not previously been picking up the loose ball on the other side of the field. Here's Montero. Holding the ball up really well under the pressure of a couple of Sydney defenders. Middleton just goes back safely. Pelle picks it up nicely and then is bumped illegally in the middle there by Rose. Ball whipped in. Tep-Tep's waiting for it. In the end, it was Montero that got highest. And then a massive throw finds Galtakin, who can now bring this forward. It's a mazy run, and eventually Rankin's there to just hoist it away. It would have been something special if the striker had gone on to score there. What an almighty throw by Hoofsloot as well. Lancaster, from McLaughlin, gets it back. Finds Galtakin, who's going to line up a go. And just drag his shot wide off the goal mouth. Scuffed it too, so Niski was never going to be challenged, even if it was on target. Just dabbling with danger there under the pressure. Once again, sees it off. Here's Lacey back into Rose. As Pella at his heels. Free kick is one. Apologise if it's a little dark out there as well. See the light in the background is starting to move away as the sun goes down past the horizon. Floodlights are just warming up. Middleton now, Sydney FC. Both sides yet to cause any of the keepers any kind of challenge thus far. As I mentioned at the start, 3 points vital for both teams for different reasons. 7 games left, so Sydney FC, who are on 27 and trail by some margin, find themselves now battling down the barrel of potentially going down, but the touch there from the Rangers winger Kimura was far too heavy and it afforded Hoofsloot an easy grab. And that is a bullet dodged for the away side. And home side failing to capitalise on what really should have been at least a shot on target. Kimura will want that back big time. He pressed well, they won the ball back. The ball into his path was wonderful too. From his strike partner, Marita. Here's Lacey now. Cuts and goes himself and then dinks it nicely into the path of McAllister, but it's just a bit too heavy. Better from Sydney FC from an attack perspective, playing a little bit more direct. Rangers happy to go direct again and win the free kick as McLaughlin is adjudged to have just tugged at the shirt there of Majock. describe what that was from the Rangers. They had the opportunity to load the box, particularly with a player the size of Tep at the back. Then went back to Niski. Every player was offside. He then went long, and it went all the way through to Hoosloot on the other side of the field. Of a strange passage of play there from the home side. Sure, not one that new coach Ben Rollinson cooked up at the start of the week. NFC do very well to just avoid the press. Lacey now to Headley, back to Lacey. The free kick will be given. Hilaire just snipping at the heels of Lacey, just lost that battle. And now Sydney FC will have another opportunity from a very similar position from the last attacking set piece that they had, if not identical. It might still be a bit far out to have a go. Set piece too short. Still with Sydney FC though. Here's Shaw. Comes back to Lacey, who has a go, and it's well struck. And finally we have a shot on target. Past the halfway mark of this half a few minutes ago. Still 0-0 on the scoreboard here. Just joining us late, this is match day 23 of the National Premier League men's competition. We're at Popondetta Park. Now Druitt Town Rangers up against Sydney FC. It's been very little action to speak of. For that loud bang with the ball landing on the commentator's box here. It almost came in the window. That would have been an exciting moment. But here's a chance now for Sydney. Baltikin just can't find McAllister. Rose back to the same man, but it's cut out again emphatically by Montero. That's a great ball by Shaw to find Headley, who switched to the other side. Lovely raking ball. It's just a little too heavy. McAllister was there waiting for the ball to just land right on his forehead. He was quoted during the week saying that he can score all types of goals. Long range, penalties, left foot, right foot, and the header as well. Here he is now in a corner, trying to get his way out of it. It's not a great clearance from Rankin, and then he is spared any kind of blushes with the pass from Lancaster missing all its targets in a sky blue shirt. Just sends it forward into the corner. This should probably roll out of play. It does, after it's marshalled well by Marshall White. That was not an intended pun, folks, so I do apologise for that. It's not a great clearance from Hoosloot, gets away with it. And then now City break, and Headley's got room to move into. Pele, though, such speed and strength. The referee has given a free kick. Here, this is again a call that's upset for some reason both sides of the fence. Not entirely sure why. Pele bringing down Headley illegally in the referee's eyes, and then just made sure that there was no, I guess, quick play the ball, and it's apparently took umbrage with Sydney FC, who have failed to obviously make that set piece count. And then Druitt win it back through determination of Jackson Brown. So, once again, the away side failing to take the opportunity when offered up. And just allows the home side to just settle things back down again. Shock wins the header again over McLaughlin. Tep misses the header as McAllister jumped with him. Jackson Brown turns and goes. Great turn of pace and speed and skill. Headley now storming forward. Oh, what pace from the Sydney FC winger. Gets it into Galtigan. Still going here, Oscar Galtigan, but Tep eventually muscles him out of the way and wins the ball back. Sydney FC come again. Oh, great ball from Lacey. Now Headley receives a ball. But it's a little bit too far in the corner, so he's forced to retreat. Lacey still has the ball after a mazy run. Now it's Headley's turn to cut back on the inside into Galtikin, but he can't get past Tep again, who's looked rock solid at the back thus far. And then Lancaster's touch is far too heavy and goes out for a Mount Druitt throw-in. The home side defensively look sturdy. dancing well to get away. And then the referee calls for the free kick. An opportunity as well for Lacey to sort of just stroll into open space, but the referee's whistle went a little early. The Jock, wonderful skill. And now they look to break. Sweeping ball out here to Kimura, who's not had a lot of work to do in terms of that one moment where he misplaced a touch. Pele. Static Floody tries to get it into the 18-yard box. But Sydney FC recover well. Still with the home side though. Tep. Right now to Rankin. It's a lovely ball into Marita to Majok, whose cross is a bit heavy. Comes to Kimura! Brilliantly blocked off the line or saved there by Hoosloot. It was hard to tell who got the final touch. But the Rangers with another really good opportunity to find themselves in front. This time they're denied by a wonderful save. And then Montero is fouled late and they win the free kick. And there's also an injury concern here for Rocco Pele. He went straight down. And I don't want to say it, but his night could be over because that doesn't look comfortable at all for the midfielder for the home side. He got just a little knock previously. And then immediately when the free kick was given, he sat down on his backside and called for the trainer. Potentially a quad or a hip that he's pointing at here. Maybe even a groin. He's up now, which is good. Doesn't look to be in any sort of discomfort. Has been asked to go off the field, so play can resume. And that obviously is going to start again with this free kick for the Rangers. I was a betting man. I could think this is probably going to one place and one place only, and that might be the back post where Tep is lurking. Doesn't quite have the legs on it though. Pele allowed to come back on the field, looks fresh. It's Kimura. Tries to go long into the middle, but it's blocked. And now a sweeping ball out to Lacey is just overhit. And Floody covers, Static Floody. Shaw does well to ride a couple of challenges. Looks for McAllister, who's offside, despite getting the ball after Rankin had made a touch. Time Lachlan wins the header over Majok, so that'll be a confidence booster for the fullback. Montero now drives. Why not to Stanish Floody? Back into Lopez. Not about his work quietly. Hasn't had a lot of room to work with. Here's Majok. Just damaged Floody. All of a sudden, it's the Rangers who've started to just control the tempo of the game a little bit more effectively. Montero in the middle to Morita. Pella goes long over to Rankin, who will keep this in. Does very well. Back to Majok. His touch is a bit heavy. And then Headley has to just go long and away from danger. But still, the home side press. We'll go route one again. Jock wins the head up. Jock is definitely fouled there. Pulled back there by McLaughlin. And this is a great opportunity for Mount Druitt to test the aerial prowess of Sydney FC defensively. The yellow card is shown. Leave to McLaughlin. Yes, it was McLaughlin, 17. Hard to see the numbers on the back of that sky blue jersey in this light. Nomura standing over the free kick once again. Referee has set the wall. And on the stroke of half time, can the home side find an answer? It's nicely weighted. There's plenty of players there. It's bouncing around and then it's cleared into, it looks to be a defensive shoulder of a Sydney FC player. It was Rocco Pella who swung a boot at it. There was calls for handball. Faint-hearted, to say the least. Sydney FC survive another scare. The initial header wasn't met by a yellow shirt. It did bounce favourably for them, though, but once again, they couldn't find a gap in the defensive block. We're going to have just a moment to review the positioning of the ball here, which is something I haven't seen since underage 12, Div 7. Corner now taken, whipped in towards the back post. Tips there, gets a head on it, but it's nowhere near the goal. Comes back out here to Kimura, who hasn't got any support, and then he's clipped in the back of the heels. Referee says play on. Jackson Brown looking for some options. Strides away and now plays it back in towards the middle. Flicked on, here's Lopez. Just completely shouldered off the ball. And the Rangers still with it. Jackson Brown back to Rankin. It's Pele now. Montero back in his defensive position. I'll just go long wide to Kimura again, but that ball to Marshall White is not effective, and he intercepts it. And it will be a throw into the Rangers, as that ball wasn't kept in play. Forced to go back. Now he goes long first time. Rankin's made the run. Just had to put a head straight through it. careful. Does well. And then Niski just says a hack at that. Tep just goes long. Middleton has to deal with it. Majok does well to bring it down. And then he's bundled into the back of there by Lancaster. And they'll load up again the 18-yard box, one might think. No, they don't. They go early over to Stanic Floody. Montero bursting into space. The centre half loving a mazy run, but loses out there to Marshall White, who then gets tripped by Lopez. He claimed to have won the ball. The referee says no. It's always difficult to argue that case when the player is in open space and then trips up. Lacey with the bad pass, but that's a poor miss from Pellet. And now there's an opportunity for Sydney FC to hit here with McAllister. Can't wrap his boot around it. It would have been a sucker punch blow for the home side, who have really moulded nicely into this encounter in the last 10-15 minutes as we get on to the 45-minute mark. I don't think there'll be much added time placed by the referee. Hiskey goes long. And then so does Pellet. It's not a great header there by Shaw. Just goes straight up in the air. A little opportunity now for the Rangers with Kimura. One-on-one here with Marshall White. Kimura looking for a shot. Can't find it. Pellet is then offside. Or Lopez was offside. Good defending in the end there by the Sydney FC right back, who's been busy in attack and defence so far today. Conceded, goes in Sydney's favour. Looks like they're going to go long, and they do so. Miski is covering that very easily. Kimura now gets it into Majok, who's got some space to work with. Majok trying to find a shot. Back to Kimura! Great save by Hoosloot. Still with Marita here. The Rangers with a chance. Stanic Floody towards the penalty spot. Doesn't fall kindly for a Rangers player. Here comes Pellet from range. It was an audacious way to finish the half. It's not too far away. And that is what we'll finish with in this first period here at Popondetta Park. It's been a slow start, but the game has come to life in the last 10-15 minutes. The Rangers having all the chances, had it not been for a couple of saves from Hoosloot in goals to Sydney FC. They could very well be up in this one. Sluggish from the away side thus far. They've been frustrated by a stout, organised defensive outfit in the Rangers, who are desperate for some points today. All to play for in the second half. If they come out like that finish that we've just had, we're sure in for an exciting 45 to come. Stay with us here on the official YouTube channel of the Football New South Wales, because this is match day 23 at Popondetta between Mount Druitt and Sydney FC in the National Premier League men's competition, and it is all to play for. Welcome back to the second half here from Poppendetta Park for match day 23 between Mount Druitt Town Rangers and Sydney FC in the National Premier League men's competition. 0-0 at half-time. Nothing separating the two. It was scripted that it would be the away side that would claim an important 3 points in their hopes for finals football come September, but that is not to be the case at this stage. Despite a opening dominance regarding possession, it's been all Mount Druitt in that second period of the first half who had the better of the chances and should have scored. We're going to have a restart here because that didn't quite work out the first time. And now we're back underway. There were a couple of changes at half-time for Sydney FC. McLaughlin has come off, and Joseph Korlusic has replaced him. I believe that must have been purely a change from a simulation point of view. That's a hefty challenge as Lacey goes down. I'll be happy with that challenge. And then there's another player on, of course, as well as I mentioned, Junior Conde, who's come on. And it looks like potentially Samuel Lancaster has come off, and Lacey is slotted into a more central position. It looks like a complete kind of rework here, actually, for the away side that weren't particularly happy with what they produced inside that first 45 minutes. And they'll need to be careful here because the Rangers are storming forward. Stanek Floody finds Kimura, who wins a free kick. And already there's an opening opportunity for the home side, who have been imperious so far, despite the fact that they don't have a goal to their name just yet. But here's that opportunity again. Tep and Montero are very good in the air and have won most of their aerial duels today. Abraham Majok as well, also lurking at the back post. Kimura's deliveries have been sound as well. Can we finally get ourselves a goal here? The game desperately needs it, just to open things up and add a little bit of intensity and a bit of pressure. And can the home side provide that for us here? Corner comes in, doesn't get past the first Sydney FC defender. Disappointing to say the least. Rankin picks it up nicely and now strides forward. Rankin does eventually get the pass to where he needs it to go to. Kimura tries to find Marita. That goes nowhere. And Sydney FC managed to escape the danger. Doesn't look like there's been a change for the home side to start this second half. Why would they? They've looked pretty good. And Mount Druitt just scrapping it out in the middle of the park at the moment. Very congested in that sort of middle third. Neither side can bring the ball down. Rankin looks for Majok, does so as well, and he just puts it into the space and has asked Middleton to get on his bike. And then he loses out to Majok, who wins the ball back. But the new man on, Korlusic, steps up and provides a telling touch. Gultigan now coming back on the inside. Lovely ball there into the path of McAllister, but Well marshalled by Montero, who sees the ball away from danger. Rankin with a poor giveaway, and Condé can now break, and he's got Gulterkin to his left, doesn't choose to use him. Here's Condé who has a go, looking to make an impact off the bench. Perhaps he would have been better placed to feed the ball through to Gulterkin. We're going to have another stoppage here because once again it's Rocco Pella who's on the ground. He got up and played through the first 45 minutes, but this looks like an aggravation that will probably need, you would think, a fresh face on the field, which will be a huge disappointment for the home side because Pella has been imperious and has looked an absolute standout for them so far today. He comes off again with no indication from the home bench of a substitution coming on. They're now starting to warm up. They were sitting down previously. If they were to lose him, it would be a big shame because he has really controlled this middle for the Rangers. He's allowed to come back on. It looks like he's going to continue. He looks okay again. Jock wins the ball. Lovely skills. And then that is a bad tackle. That'll be a yellow card for sure. Jock went straight into Lacey. The referee had no choice but to show the card. He wants this to come back. A quick free kick not allowed. Lucic standing over this. There's ambitions to send this in, but there's no one in a blue shirt waiting for it, so they go short. It's nice from Sydney FC. And now Marshall White is fouled. Referee plays advantage. And now they come back for the free kick. Referee deemed that there wasn't a forward progression. I think there'll be another yellow card here. So that's two in quick succession for the home side. Majok first, and then I think that's Kimura out there who's been given a yellow card. Ball from Lacey doesn't work at all. Jackson Brown just steps up and intercepts it easily. Manages to keep this in, and that is a bad collision. It's a very, very short touchline there. Jackson Brown just went careering into the dugout there. You heard it from across the field. Both of the players gave all their efforts to keep the ball in. And it was really heading to only become a potential disaster. Let's just hope that the centre midfielder is okay. going to call here. He might have given Lacey a yellow card. There's not really much that the winger could have done about it. Looks to be that Jackson Brown is okay, which is good to see. And it will result in a free kick for the home side. This goes long from Niski, but goes well out of play. Subdued atmosphere after a couple of injury stoppages. Seems to be going Mount Druitt's way at the moment, and the referee's going to call play over to have another word with them. This time it's Rose. He's getting the eye of the referee. Here's Niski. Goes long again up top. Shaw's got some work to do. Only heads it into the path of Majok, who's got pace. Miscontrols it though and runs past the ball because he was too quick. And now Sydney FC look to counter. Here comes Lacey. Out wide here to his man on the left. Kugolton. Can't get the ball away though again. Conde now. Lose out again there, the sky blue. Niski's clearance is low and along the deck, but it works out. Here's Lacey. Goes towards McAllister, but the ball is spinning back towards Niski, and he easily takes it. And now the Rangers come again through Jackson Brown. Switch here for Kolusic, who's just on. His touch is a little heavy though. But Jock now looking to bring it forward. Just gets a little scrappy between the two teams as they fail to find the killer pass or structure required to actually break down either defences. Ball cut out by Rankin, and now he brings it forward. Plenty of pace here, the fullback. Rankin still going, tries to find Majok, but just finds the hip of the trailing Kolusic. And now there's a counter on, and then this time it's the backside of Jackson Brown that halts play, but only momentarily. Headley now with plenty of room to work with. Still going, finds it back into Lacey. Montero's there to cover, and that was a goal kick, I think. Neither official has made a call here. I think it has resulted in a goal kick. Rangers just cover again in time. Mark is now upon us. Once again, the first half is sort of playing out like the start of second, but here's that chance now for Marita! Oh no, it's a poor miss! Marita with a glorious opportunity to put the Rangers in front, and again it has eluded the home side. It was a wonderful layoff here initially by Marita into the path of Lopez and just digged it forward. Another chance. Kamira shot low, but it's well saved again by Hoofslet. And Sydney FC survived not one but two bullet-like chances again. And now Conde looking to bring it forward. And a free kick is given with a challenge on Jackson Brown. He's not happy about it. What a moment in this match. Still beside himself and showing plenty of frustration is the striker Yuto Marita, who really should have made it 1-0. I mean, you could talk about the other chances that some of his colleagues have had, but that one there, that was the gilt-edged one. What can Sydney FC produce? Well, that was a very funny moment, because you would have thought that they were going to put a wall there. They didn't, because they didn't think he would get it that far, and he didn't even get remotely close there. The Sydney FC winger, Gultigan. Still, the game goes on in search of its first goal. Looks to be that Sydney FC are readying another sub. Rang Awak looks to be that player. Finds Kolusic. His touch just eludes him a little bit. Once again, Rankin is just superb defensively. And there'll be a pause for that substitution to happen. Not a single Sydney FC player knows who's coming on. It looks like it was Headley in the end. Oh, he's come down here on the far touchline. I forget that we do that nowadays to speed up the game, to avoid time wasting. It was a Cola Con who's coming on, sorry. Here's Rocco. Rocco Pele still going, finding a way through. Kimura goes down. Ball comes finally out to a chance for Sydney FC to potentially find themselves 1-0 down again. It comes to Stanic Floody. referee let the play continue brilliantly. It was a wonderfully struck left foot hit from the left back. That would have been great to see. Other fullback getting forward and getting on the score sheet. But it doesn't come off that occasion. It just drags it wide. This is nice from Sydney FC, but Jackson Brown once again just constantly running. Oh, that's a bad tackle now. Stanic Floodie's probably going to receive a yellow card here. It was unfortunate. Both players were going for the ball, and it was Lacey with his pace who got there first. He's down hurt. That might be his last contribution, and he's on a yellow card and also down hurt. It was a hefty collision. Comes the free kick for Sydney FC. Chance for them to get on the score sheet, but Tep is strong in the air. As Majock goes along first time. Oh! Rita should have let that go. Still got the opportunity here to break on the counter. Here's Kimura. Goes wide now to Jackson Brown. Across the face of goal. Middleton with a lovely sliding tackle to send the ball out for a corner. Morita, though, should have let that go through. He had players steaming on his outside. He's not had a couple of good minutes, the number 10. Ball whipped in towards Huslut, but he easily collects it, but then wins a free kick. Now it looks like we're going to have that substitution come. Well, not quite yet. Now Druitt aren't ready for it. Is fouled by the Jock, who I thought was on a yellow card. He needs to be careful. He's definitely on a yellow card. He got one only at the start of this half for a pretty bad challenge on Joe Lacey and around just the 48th minute mark. So he's got to be careful there, the winger. It's the last thing that the home side need. Lacey put in a delivery that's worthy of getting a head on it or a foot to it for an opening goal here at Popondetta. The referee just saying, keep your hands to yourselves. Lacey now will deliver. And it's one of the worst deliveries I think I've seen in quite some time. Doesn't even go, not just past the first man. And there was only one person in the wall. He managed to hit that person like a 10-pin. Here comes the change now. Stanic Floody does come off. Alongside. And His replacement is Majok, and he'll be replaced by Garang Awak. I think it looked like they're Stefan Gidglioff. Zakon. Gets the ball across towards Conde. He gets the header down too. Lopez does well to win the header. There's definitely a handball in that. Messi still going with the ball here. Certainly flourishing in a more central role. Con gets the better here of Rankin, still going. Finds it back to Goltigin, who made a very good connection with the ball, but it was blocked, and then there's a coming together in the middle, and it falls favourably for the home side because they win the free kick. Just under 20 minutes to go now. Can either side get it? It really does scream a last-minute winner at this stage, the way that it's been playing out. Shaw with a big header. Lacey plays it into space. Conde wasn't there. 27 that came was actually Shaded Sampao who came on. Oh, lovely layoff there by Goltigin. McAllister bundled over. The referee says everything was legal. Too many complaints either by the Sydney FC striker. It doesn't look particularly well after that coming together. Oh, lovely injection from the substitution. Morita couldn't bring it under his spell, which he's done very well at today. Here comes Montero into Jackson Brown. And he gets tripped up there by Goltigin. And there's this chance that they've been waiting for, the home side, to load the box. Lopez to take the free kick. They go towards Tep. It's not deep enough. They go back down towards him. And the flag does go up for offside. His header is picked up by Awak. This is out there to call Lucic, and now Goltigin's got space to move into City FC, looking for this chance. It's short across the face of goal. Sort of shot across by Goltigin, but it doesn't go near the back post or towards the middle of the penalty area. And once again, execution of the final third really letting down the Sky Blue today. Letting down both sides, in fact, but the away side have had their keeper to thank on a couple of occasions. And then there's an offside called there. Goltigin was offside. Jackson Brown bursting into the penalty box, still going. Jackson Brown can't get the shot away. Thought about it about 3 or 4 times. Just couldn't find a way to just poke it forward. Mura, what a turn that is. Lovely play. Here's this chance now to get it into the 6-yard box. It's dealt with initially. We get a bit of aerial ping pong. Comes to Pele. A whack. Pele again. Definitely the use of hands there. Referee says nothing doing. Brown whips it out wide now to the substitute Sam Powell. Oh, Pele just nips at the heels of Lacey again. The home fans and bench not happy with it. The Sydney FC midfielder has been targeted more than once. And I think some feel that perhaps he may have milked a couple of them. Marshall White tries to play it forward, and then the referee calls for a free kick here against Pele. Well, this was a real 50-50 because Marshall White ran in and then just stood and didn't actually play at the ball and just embraced the contact. Has worked out more favourably for the away side, who had the opportunity to close the box. And the double change is coming, probably after this free kick for Sydney FC. Lacey standing over it again. It's a far better delivery. It had to be punched away nicely by Niski. Here's a con. Has a go. But again, it's audacious and it's asking a lot. Great cover there by Marshall White. Ball finds Galtagood out wide. One-on-one here with Rankin. This ball is intercepted though by Sampao. Kimura tries to go round to the fullback but can't do so. Hasn't got any options though. Has to retreat momentarily. Here's Conde now. Sydney FC just starting to find themselves with a little bit more ball. That's a poor touch from Montero. Galtagood needs to find a way through. Pele just clears it. Montero just sees it out. The double substitution will come. Off comes Rose and Marshall White. Reef Farias is on, as well as it looks to be there. I think Zach Flower, who's just joined the fray. There's a double change here too for a home side coming, or not quite. We'll get it in a second. Now it will come, that change. Off comes Thomas Lopez. So there will be no last-minute heroics for the youngster. His replacement, John Azar. And then finally, Rocco Pele is coming off. What a stint he's had. And Alexander Trajanowski is on. Those are some big changes in the context of this match. Arguably two of the best performing players for the home side coming off. Referee not giving a free kick there for some hands in the backs. Montero with an important touch. Falls through a wonderful effort from, looked to be Marshall White, but it's drilled into the side netting. A great opportunity not taken. The fullback playing further upfield now due to the changes. The referee got an earful from the home players. He thought that a whack had been pushed in the back and should have had a free kick, and it would have afforded Sydney FC a invaluable lead. They're fortuitously not punished for it. Moore tries to get it back to the substitute Azar, but his touch is too heavy. And that'll definitely be a free kick, you would think. Oh, the referee says this has been one of the most lenient officiatings I've seen, and it's been great. Real throwback to football of yesteryear. Tep just pushes it back into the Sydney FC half. And that ball is just drilled forward. Tep has to get on his bike and does so, and then just sends it out of play. The calls or a header to be put on that from Niski. I don't know how, in what world he thought any player was going to head that clearance forward. It's well above anybody's head. Lacey puts it in towards the back post. It's fallen kindly for McAllister, and it's just deflected up and over the crossbar. That was finding its way into at least the diving palms of Niski. He hasn't had a lot to work with today, the front man for Sydney FC. But he almost found that opening riff. It didn't quite. Squeeze through the defensive gap. They've still got a corner, though, to try and make something count. It's nicely weighted. There's players there, and somehow it hasn't crept in the near post. Now Druitt sort of hanging on here a little bit. We've just under 10 minutes to play. That's better weighted. It's headed towards the 6-yard box. Flick back in. Sydney FC, Korlusic has a go. But it was well saved by Niski, who got down low and saved it. Niski just goes long up to Morita, sorry. Mike's touch lets him down. This will stay in the field of play. It never went out. Oh no, the referee said it did. There's going to be another change for the home side. There it is. Morita is off. It's 18, Lachlan Vasilou, who's on. Komura puts it out towards the chance of a whack to get on the end of this. Hushlev just gets a touch away, still with a couple of Rangers players, but Sydney FC scramble. to Tep Tep, who just gets it across field. Just hoisted long. Will probably go out for a goal kick, you would think. It does. The more time is eaten away. Under 5 now. Free kick here for Sydney FC. Middleton now. Surges it forward out here to Ocon. Oh, Ocon does really well. Down the touchline, still going. Tries to go round a couple of defenders, and it's a wonderful challenge down low by Jackson Brown, who's been imperious today. He hasn't stopped running. He has a wonderful challenge laid on. Brave as well to go low. But to win the goal kick is a huge result for his side. NSW try to apply the pressure, and they do win the ball back. Galtigan looking for options. Eventually uses a com, but it's far too late. Sydney FC have just really struggled to click together in attack today. Lacey gets away with it once, doesn't get away with it twice. Much better from them now. Marshall White keeps it in. Only momentarily though. Just under 2 minutes remaining now. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, 2 minutes. Again, I don't think there'll be much added time to work with for either side. Swimming ball out here to Korlusic. Sydney FC trying to find that last bit of energy. Ocon does really well to get that ball forward. Korlusic back into Conde, whose touch is a poor one. Kindly falls to Lacey. Farias gets it in. There's McAllister. Tep though, using all his height and prowess at the back to make sure nothing was doing for the home side, the away side, sorry. And then that's just hoisted away. Vasilou chasing us down. That'll be handball, you would have thought. Referee says no. Opportunity now for the home side to move forward. Rankin, though, with an audacious little layoff, which was going to work out for them. That's a great ball from Conde to find Marshall White. Here comes Sydney FC. Marshall White trying to find an angle. Finally getting the overlap here from Farias. Tries to play it forward, but no, Kimura's good. Does his defensive duties and fails to find a pass to Azar for the breakaway, which is also disappointing because he had time to put the pass forward. 4 minutes added. Vasilou finds a whack. He's trying to just play the role of top man. It hasn't quite worked out. Here he comes now, though. He's got Vasilou out wide. Here come the Rangers. Can they give their home fans something to celebrate here on a cold day at Popendetta? Not with that cross from Vasilou. Jackson Brown into a whack. Lovely ball wide to Rankin, who's unmarked. Ball comes in, but it's well headed away by Shaw. They come forward again here. Rankin with an opportunity to find that cross once more. Doesn't use it the first time. Here's Vasilou. Took too many touches and then goes down. I think asking a lot there of the referee to give a penalty this late for an unlucky stamp. Ball goes forward again, over Azar's head, over everyone's head. Still falls to the Rangers though. They can bring it forward. And that's a good telling touch there by Shaw, who's looked very good at the back today, to be fair. Oh no, it's a huge reaction from the Mount Druitt bench. They call for handball. They think they saw it clear and obvious. The referee then gave a free kick the other way, which is the complete opposite of what they were calling for. They're going to load players forward here, Sydney. No, they're not. They're going to go short. Ball comes in now. Right, that's going straight down the throats of Niski. Still a few minutes left. CDFC got a chance here now. Marshall White plays it in. McAllister, lovely touch. McAllister, no, it would have been special. He's been quiet all night, as I said previously, but that would have been something absolutely top draw. He brought it down really well, but he didn't have a lot of time to take the shot on. He was at a tricky angle as well, and he just blasted it wide. Free kick given here. Mount Druitt have a chance to load the box up. They'll send everyone forward. This probably is one of the last chances for Mount Druitt to win this here. By the time they take this free kick, that's probably the case. Azar standing over it. Tep will most likely be the target. It's not a very good cross. Tep got up high. Might still fall kindly to him, but he's reacted late. Comes to Kimura. Could it be? Brilliant defending again from Sydney FC in the scramble. And now they've got a chance to hit on the counter. They go wide now to Marshall White. Has Lacey in front of him. Doesn't use him, and it's intercepted by Montero. And now a whack can bring it forward. He's got options in Azar, and does that so. They go long, but Hoosloot is there, and he'll just send it away. And that will be the last act of this round 23 encounter between Mount Druitt Town Rangers and Sydney FC. A result that neither side will be particularly satisfied with, but one that they won't be dissatisfied with. It was topsy-turvy, it was end-to-end, it was aggressive, it was lenient. It was all played in very good spirit. The only thing it lacked was the finishing touch of a goal, finishing at 0-0 at full time. Mount Druitt will feel probably the two that needed it the most will feel that they should have come away with it in a season where they haven't been able to pick up too many wins and too many points. There was an opportunity to claim a high scalp of a more fancied opponent, which they couldn't take. There was plenty of moments where Hoosflut was good in goals, but particularly there was a couple of chances both to Yuta Morita and Yuta Komura, who couldn't take their chances when they were one-on-one with the Sydney FC keeper. As for Sydney FC, they'll probably claim the draw. They weren't strong tonight, but they will feel aggrieved as well that they didn't find their fifth gear, because points for them are important as well if they want to find themselves playing finals footy. An unlikely finals charge, that one might say, but if they're thinking about making it, they needed 3 points today against an opponent that they probably thought that they should be beating. Nonetheless, that's football for you folks. 0-0 from Popendetta. My name's Don Rizzuto. It's been a pleasure calling this one for you. Enjoy your football for the rest of the weekend. Have a very good night.